on a cold winter morning in 1975. The cubicles at Kodak's research lab in Rochester, New York, buzz with analog life, film rolls, chemical baths, and the ever-present sound of cameras winding. Hidden in a corner, a young engineer named Steve Sasson hunched over a tangle of wires, a handful of circuit boards, and a lens cannibalized from a Super 8 movie camera. He was building something nobody had ever seen, a camera that needed no film. He had a vision, one where images could be captured and stored as electrons, not on celluloid, freeing people everywhere from the tyranny of rolls and darkrooms. His invention, barely the size of a toaster, weighed 8 pounds and took grainy black and white images. But he believed, stubbornly, obsessively, that he could change everything. Cut to Sasson demoing the prototype for Kodak brass. Old men in press suits, film in their veins, stared at the television screen as a blocky picture flickered into view. One executive snorted, "That's not a photograph." Another wondered why anyone would want to look at pictures on a TV. "This isn't photography," they told him. "It's a science project." Undeterred, Sasson continued. He wrote patents, filled notebooks, dreamed out loud in the empty corridors. But Kodak, for all its resources, couldn't see past the empire it had built. The world's dominant photography brand didn't want what Sasson had. They hid his prototype. They stamped patents confidential. Years passed. The digital camera revolution swept the world, but not through Kodak. New names like Sony and Canon raced ahead. Sasson watched, heart heavy, as the company that invented film fell in love with its own legend, blinded to the new era. "No one really understood it, not even me," Steve would later confess in interviews. But he kept tinkering, in quiet corners, deeply believing in a future nobody else dared to imagine. As digital took over, Kodak's market evaporated in less than a decade. The very invention they rejected, Sasson's homegrown miracle, became the tool every human would eventually keep in their pocket. Pictures were no longer confined to family albums. They lived on screens, moved instantly between continents, changed revolutions, and shaped cultures. At ceremonies years later, Sasson stood quietly, front row in cheap seating, watching CEOs take credit for the digital camera. None of the original executives were around to see its impact. But Steve, patient and dogged, had seen ahead. His pain became his purpose, his rejection the very fire that pushed him to keep building, even when nobody cared. Today, every selfie, every shared memory, every world-changing image can trace its DNA back to that cold morning in Rochester, and the engineer who simply